Coliseum. It is time for Big 12 volleyball. Kansas State and Florida A&M. The wrap-up of the K-State Invitational. The Wildcats going for a clean sweep of the field. And here is the bracket so far to this point, or at least the results to this point. As you can see on the right side, K-State is taking care of business. And last night, dispatching of NC State. The Wolfpack rebounded today in a thriller and a battle with Sam Houston State. That's why we're delayed today, is those two win 5. NC State surviving to win 2 out of 3. Sam Houston State splitting so far, and then 1 and 2 on the day. So here, as of K-State's performance and what they've done at this point, here's some of the highlights of what we've seen. And really, it's been starting with this young lady, Sydney Bolding. She has been fantastic, Liz Wagner-Bush.
Yes, her trajectory and improvement over this last year is really phenomenal, and she's just doing it all, blocking at the net, and then really providing some kills for K-State, which is really important for them going into Big 12 play.
On the other side of it, Dominique Washington for Florida A&M. The preseason SWAC Player of the Year has lived up to the billing.
Oh, she's a phenomenal player, very physical, very powerful, and an all-around player, and the leader of this Rattlers team.
And again, welcome to you courtside here from Brentwood's Coliseum. Brian Smoller along with the two-time All-American Liz Wagner-Bush. And Liz, as we see these teams match up, it's really about K-State today trying to continue what has been fantastic play in this tournament.
Yeah, and they really got to get out there and get hot right away and not let Florida A&M. They're looking for a win in this tournament, so they got to get out there and play hard. All
right, let's take a look at your keys to victory as we get into this one. First up, for Florida A&M, what are your keys to victory for the Rattlers?
Yeah, for Florida A&M, they've really got to extend rallies, so they got to play some defense pretty tough out there and try to get in under the skin of the Wildcats. And then they need to be terminal, so they need to not allow K-State to dig it and then turn in transition and try to kill the ball back at them. And then for K-State, they've got to serve tough. They did a really nice job of that last night, getting under NC State's skin there. And then they need to play consistent. Coach Fritz talked about that at the end of that second match yesterday, about their ability to play consistent over time.
Well, we may see some younger players today, too, because of the mismatch on paper for Susie Fritz's squad against Florida A&M. We fully expect to see Ava LeGrand, the talented freshman setter, who lost the starting spot to Lauren Hinkle, but we suspect that she will be in today. We'll also probably see Shaylee Myers and Dahlia Wilson, who played a little bit the other day, and maybe even Anaya Clinton making her debut as well. All that. To see how it all plays out, of course, can't assume anything. You got to play volleyball still, and then starting 5 for K-State out there, or starting 6, I should say, up for K-State as we begin. Florida A&M picking on Baca. She'll get the return. Popped up by the Rattlers. And we are underway from Brentwood's Coliseum, the final match of the K-State Invitational. And K-State going to the right side, and Haley Warner, who got a little bit of swings and started to get some kills late in the match yesterday against NC State, begins with 1 here today.
Yeah, K-State really like to see her get going early is always a good sign.
Wildcats got way left side dominant in the first set yesterday, dropping that to NC State and then rebounded. They have won 6 of 7 sets so far to begin 2022. And what they did yesterday was a lot of that. 17 blocks against NC State, led by that young lady, Sydney Bolding, and they're off to another big start.
Yeah, great block set up there by Warner and Bolding with the finish.
Bolding with 7 blocks yesterday, 1 off a career high. She had a career high 13 kills in yesterday's match.
And she hit 500. That's not easy to do.
In back-to-back matches, she's hit 500, and she gets her first here today. Just looks like a totally different player, and that's unfair. I mean, she was an effective player, especially down the stretch as she got into it, but a year of working with the program in the offseason, and it has made all the difference. She has elevated herself, and we're only 3 matches into the season, but playing at an all-conference level. Carter's first swing is a tip that finds the open floor.
That's smart play there by Carter. She saw there was no one behind that block, and with the soft touch.
Right side, middle, left for K-State in their offense.
Yeah, good sign.
The maturation of Lauren Hinkle continues. At setter, moving from the defensive specialist position. Baca trying to go up the sideline, misses. Service error by Kansas State. They had 10 aces yesterday, but 15 errors. Got a little heavy on the errors late. But they have been aggressive with their serve so far this year. An early lead for the Wildcats, and the Rattlers serving it up. The aforementioned Dominique Washington. Washington covering in the back row. And the antenna got clipped by Watts. That'll be a point for K-State on the attack here. Sophomore transfer from Murray State. Unable to keep it in.
Yeah, Florida A&M has a lot of very physical, athletic players on their team. A lot of potential in their hitters.
Blocked one at the middle, covered once but not twice. Well, this is a Florida A&M team that's had some really good success. Team that is picked first in the SWAC this year. See the head coach of Florida A&M, and Gökhan Yilmaz is in his 5th year. Native of Turkey. Long-time assistant at Florida State when they were building themselves into a power. Roll shot finds success for the back line. Washington coming off that 22-kill performance against Sam Houston State, double-double. Play all 6 rotations, she has her first kill. Georgia Tech transfer now in her 2nd year. What a hit from Warner.
Seems like she just keeps getting better with each opportunity she has at the net and mixing up her shots. Seeing that block in front of her, good sign for the Wildcats.
Big block again by the Wildcats, thrown up on Watts.
Lauren Hinkle.
6 blocks yesterday for Hinkle, showing that she's not necessarily the setter that's going to give up a big swing.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
Here is your chance to win a VIP trip to Times Square and $1 million live on national television. Enter Kansas Lottery's Powerball First Millionaire of the Year promotion today, and you and a guest could win an exciting trip to New York City and appear on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Don't miss your chance to become the next Powerball First Millionaire of the Year. The countdown is on. Enter today. CKSLottery.com for details.
We get out, fired up, hook big ones. We get out and rip it, and we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew, get out and do.
Whatever you do, don't drop it.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2.
What's that?
Wildcats with a big lead here early in the first set in Bramlage Coliseum. Wrapping up the K-State Invitational, hosting the preseason pick to be the SWAC champion, Florida A&M. Touch on the block against Pressoir. Washington for the back row gets the kill. Well, before the break, we were talking about Florida A&M and some of their success. Let's bring in Jasmine Halliburton, the 3rd member of our crew. Good afternoon, Jasmine. What can you tell us about Florida A&M and the program?
Good
afternoon, guys. Well, Florida A&M claimed its first SWAC championship title in its first season as a league member in a 3-2 upset over defending champions Jackson State. With a record of 25-7 and 14-2 in the conference, the Rattlers wrapped up their season with their first 20-win campaign since 2006. The team worked a 12-game winning streak before meeting Florida in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, also capturing 18 sweeps.
Now, this is a team that Yilmaz has brought in a lot of transfers. So and you would suspect, because of his background, has some foreign ties as well. In fact, they're missing their starting setter, someone who is thought to be the setter of the year in the SWAC. That's Irem Uchar, who started her career at TCU, has not played yet this season, but was a first-team SWAC and setter of the year last year in the league, averaged almost 11 assists a match. So that makes a difference, not having her.
Oh, it's a big deal. And you can see maybe some of the timing with the hitters is just not quite there.
Sharpton has taken over at center. She's a transfer as well from NC State, but she hasn't played the last couple of years due to COVID and then injury. So 2 years removed from playing volleyball, Sharpton, who played as a freshman and started at NC State, trying to guide this Florida A&M squad. Carter with the dig at the back line. Carter flirted with a triple-double yesterday. Baca, the finish. And another timeout by Florida A&M. Well, as dominant showing as this has been from K-State at the outset, one of the prospects that we may see from the Wildcats is some other players rotating in. And it could be earlier than we thought.
Yeah,
the way this is going.
It could be, yeah. The Wildcats really putting some pressure on Florida A&M with their serve, and they're just not able to really get into much of a rhythm there offensively.
One of those players could be Ava LeGrand, the setter for Kansas State. More on Ava LeGrand. Let's go to Jasmine Halliburton.
Hi, guys. So Coach Fitch talked about Ava. She described her as an incredibly disciplined and driven athlete, and they're excited about her athleticism, her size, and her strength at the setter position. And of course, she has great leadership skills and is a proven winner at different levels. Of course, in her high school career, she led her team to an undefeated season along with a Nebraska state championship. And she already made her first impression with the team when she earned her first career double-double in their exhibition match against Wayne State, and is currently in a position battle with Lauren Hinkle, who Coach Fritz said is neck and neck.
Now, that's a great point, because as Hinkle has played well, as we said, has done nothing to lose the position, but from all accounts, it's been pretty even between these two as they battle it out, and we're going to see more of LeGrand probably today. And everyone hearing so much about her, interested to see how she goes. Anytime
you can get, your young players in and get more experience, it's just a little bit different, on this stage versus high school. The transition is just a little bit different, but, she definitely has an opportunity to come in and really help K-State in many ways, and she's probably going to be needed, during Big 12 play.
It's good to have options as Carter goes long with the serve. I mean, who's to say? Outside hitter having a bad time, you need somebody else to help out passing on the back row. You can move Hinkle at a setter into a passing role, bring in LeGrand, or have her as a backup. And we'll see our first reserve in today. Shaylee Myers is in for Aaliyah Carter. K-State's going to do their best to give Carter as much rest as they can. And back row attack called on Washington.
Yeah, we've seen the last couple years the load that Carter has to carry. When you think about the amount of jumps she's taking in a game, that can cause quite a bit of wear and tear. So if you have opportunities like this to give her a little rest, it's always a good thing.
Yep. Load management, no doubt about it. K-State will not be able to get that over in 3. Myers is one of the 3 freshmen that are from Nebraska. Myers from Lincoln. Lincoln Southeast, Super State pick as a senior. Super State in the state of Nebraska is all classes. Ball floats a little too long. Service error from the Rattlers. returns. And Hinkle to the back line to serve. Against NC State, 37 assists, 9 digs, 6 blocks. So she too also with a near triple-double line, or at least a very solid line. And she'll pick up an ace. 3 matches, 3 aces for Hinkle this year. Myers approves. Last year, K-State's team leader in service aces. Lauren Hinkle, 34, had 4 in a match against the Missouri Tigers, who K-State will play again this year. And she'll get back-to-back aces. K-State can do no wrong here in the first set.
Hinkle really does a nice job with her serve, getting that float. And it's got a good pace on it, which makes it very difficult to pass.
When she's on, it is difficult. It is very difficult to receive. Takes a little off of it this time. Trying to dig out Washington, but Washington gets the kill. And it's her 4th. And here comes the aforementioned Ava LeGrand. So on cue, K-State gets up big in the set, and they'll go to the bench, bring in some of these younger kids, and here comes LeGrand, talented freshman setter. A little bit more height than Hinkle, 6 foot, out of Papillion La Vista, suburb of Omaha. Too high for Baca.
LeGrand was coached by a former Wildcat at Papillion. 1 state championship there.
Katie Stanzel, another Nebraska recruit that played at K-State.
Yeah, she's done some phenomenal things up there at the high school ranks.
Making a concerted effort to get back into the Cornhusker State personal recruits in this last cycle. Only 1 Division I team in the state. Everybody wants to play for Nebraska, as most Nebraska kids do.
Yes.
Nebraska, one of the top 10 programs in the history of college volleyball. But only 15 or so can get on the team. After that, not going to play. So a lot of very good players that end up can go elsewhere. Into the Big 12, playing at K-State. Wildcats just 2 hours south of Lincoln. Bolding. Quickly becoming a nice insurance to finish a rally.
Yeah, she does a good job making sure she gets up, makes herself available. And that was a different cross-body shot for her. She's been hitting all the angles.
The state has had a long history of dominant middles. And at times there have been some teams that's been their only, beyond the left side, that's been the middle, that's been their main weapon. You can think of Caitlin Pelger years when she was playing for K-State. And of course there have been some other middles that have been just eye-poppingly good. Lauren Gehring back in the day, Big 12 championship team back in '03. Tons of others in the middle there. Lisa Martin, Kelsey Chipman. Cindy Bolding trying to put her name on it. Later stages of the first set, Wildcats the dominant showing so far, hitting 375. 4 kills for Florida A&M, but 7 errors. Ran a tight set for Myers. Another tight set. Myers finds the open spot.
Myers, nice job adjusting. A little tight set there. A little soft touch over the block.
Misplayed on the serve receive. But Watts able to turn it around. Just the 5th kill in this first set for the Rattlers, and then a service there. Molly Ramsey back to serve. Speaking of Nebraska, another Nebraska recruit at 5'4", the shortest member of the K-State team.
She's got herself a good little personality, though. Good for this Wildcat team. Tries to bring a lot of energy when she gets in on the court.
Talked about that before. There are not a lot of those type of players on the team. Carter is one. Ramsey trying to fill the role of the other. It's more of a steady Eddie stoic type team. Fernholz efficient with that slide.
Really nice move there by Fernholz. She didn't really have any block up, so.
Third-year middle for the Wildcats from South Dakota. And an ace from Shaylee Myers. First career service ace. Myers did not play in the nightcap last night. Did play one set, had 3 kills against Sam Houston. Another good serve. That results in an easy one for the Wildcats.
So who gets the kill on that one?
I don't know. Baca was there. Fernholz was there. I think they called Fernholz. And it is Fernholz that gets it. And they're talking about it right now. Another ace from Myers. And it's set point. Well, if you wondered if K-State would have any pullback on their focus after a dominant performance down the stretch against NC State last night, I think that question's been answered. They have come out very much on point, even with the younger players. Needless to say, it has been an impressive 2 days by K-State volleyball with some big question marks going into the season. An encouraging start. Morris, good cover behind Baca. Another good up by the Wildcats. Sharpton tried to slip it in. Washington through the block, and miscommunication between the back line of K-State. Set point number 2 coming up. Thrown all the way left to Baca, and she'll finish. Wildcats win the first 25-14 and hit over 400 while doing it. Baca leading the way with 3 kills. Set 2, Laringa.
You get a crispy chicken sandwich with a medium fries and drink for just $5 when you order on the McDonald's app. And the sandwich even comes wrapped in silver, like a crispy, juicy, tender present. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We must fight for our people.
Behold, the Woman King.
The Woman King, exclusively in theaters September 16th.
When safe drivers save for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
Even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
Everybody sees the success. Nobody's mind really goes to what it took to be successful. As an athlete and as a coach, I work out every single day. I wear OOFOS because it provides recovery, and once you try them, you'll never wear another slide a day in your life. They are seriously life-changing footwear.
Asking what would Pop-Tarts do is how you get from toast and jam to that's my jam. From Sunday to Sunday. So, like, what would Pop-Tarts do here? Yeah, that feels right. Crazy good.
First set of the books in Kansas State, a dominant showing, hitting .435 en route to a 25-14 win. Wealth was spread evenly as 5 players have 2 kills or more. Baca leading the way with 3 for K-State. Wildcats did a great job all the way around. Brian Smoller, Liz Wagner-Bush, Jasmine Halliburton with you, our entire crew. Here are the numbers overall. Rattlers end up with 7 kills, 7 errors. K-State offensively dominant. Serving, dominant. Blocking, dominant. Everything went right, and that's with a roster and a lineup that they were switching quite a bit during that set.
Yeah, K-State got some underclassmen in, gave them some opportunities to play. It's you know, unfortunate for Florida A&M. They're just not able to get it together. You know, Dominique Washington is kind of carrying that load for them, and just nobody else really is able to get it going for them. And K-State's taking advantage for sure.
Washington 5 kills, hitting .571 to the left. The rest of the team 2 kills, 6 errors, hitting well negative. So we'll see what set 2 has in store for us. We saw Shaylee Myers get a little bit of action there for K-State. LeGrand got in as well. I'd imagine the starters will be back in to start this second set, but we might see some young players for a while still as they try to get their legs underneath them. You kind of save some of the veterans here for action later in the year. Wildcats after today will be off until Thursday when they take on Syracuse, and in fact, K-State will be going to future Big 12 member UCF down in Orlando. So a trip that they'll be making in the future quite a bit, but they'll get a preview of that, a non-conference tournament being played at UCF. They'll get Syracuse, who's picked last in the ACC, 15th out of 15 teams. They'll get North Florida on Friday, and then UCF, the Knights, the host team, a team receiving both the top 25. That should be a good one and a good early test for the Wildcats. That'll be on September 3rd at 6 o'clock on ESPN+. So Myers and LeGrand will stay in to begin this second set. LeGrand talking with Fernholz right now. Much was made of LeGrand out of the prep ranks. We heard from Jasmine about her a little bit ago. First team All-American, over 2,500 assists, 1,350 digs, 40-0 record at Pavilion La Vista South. Getting the scorers table all checked out as far as rotations.
Yeah,
and libero subs.
When you make those changes, sometimes make sure that lineup's right.
Baca setting back to serve. Another one of those new faces for the Wildcats. Trying to make sure that she has been. And you may wonder, if, as a fan watching, why Carter out and not Baca? Part of that might be Baca a little bit better on the back row. We've seen her all-around volleyball skill maybe be a little bit more adept than Carter. Serving, playing in the back line, all that sort of thing. He stayed a little thin in passers.
And she's definitely a primary passer for the Wildcats. Kind of a steady hand back there.
And on top of that, you're also, it's a whole season in the grind, and there's going to be a lot on Carter's shoulders. Maybe just trying to give her a little bit of rest when you can before getting into the grind of the season. It's almost like Deuce Vaughn, same deal. In a blowout game, you're not going to have Deuce Vaughn carrying the ball. Into the net on Florida A&M. Blocking air gives K-State the point. Not a good serve receive. Sharpton made something out of nothing, but into the net again.
Rattlers not helping themselves out here with these errors.
Twice in a row, Aja Jones has caught the net. Once on the way up, that time on the way down. High air are the Rattlers at the moment. And an ace from Baca. She has got a wicked shallow serve.
Yeah, she likes to mix it up quite a bit.
Emerald Jacobs will come in here for Jada Taylor. A different person on the back row. See if Baca goes right at the newcomer, Jacobs. Picking on Washington instead. Washington gets it back. Legrand able to dig that out. And Warner Long.
Thought there might be a challenge there, but Coach Fritz decides not to challenge a touch.
Feel like momentum perhaps on your side. Don't want to mess with it at the moment. Go right back to Warner, but back out from Haley Warner. And really, truthfully, in 2 years, that has been what has hindered Warner. At times being a little high air. Wildcats, though, have, for the most part, been pretty good in this tournament of limiting their airs. They have really done a good job of being a low air squad. They hit 285 through 2 matches. Service ace, the second of the game for the Rattlers. Bolding. And we'll get another. Bolding probably well on her way to an all-tournament team selection. Which will be a nice reinforcement of, I'm sure, early season and off-season work. Timeout by the Rattlers. We'll take it as well. K-State edges in front here in the second on Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus.
Warner with a great effort to get the first down. I thought for sure he was going to be stopped short of the line to gain.
You can do your part to win the dang day by making small daily improvements such as eating more fruits and vegetables, living tobacco-free, and taking a short walk. All these things can all make a great impact on your overall wellness. Join me, Chris Kleiman, head football coach of your K-State Wildcats, along with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas and Stormont Vale Health in our PowerCat Health Partnership, encouraging all Kansas to live a healthier lifestyle.
Learn more about the PowerCat Health Partnership by visiting kstatesports.com/PowerCat Health.
State with a 1-0 lead. Going into their bench, pulling in some of their freshmen here in the second set. Timeout by the Rattlers a moment ago. K-State serving out of the timeout with Mackenzie Morris. Good serve, have the Rattlers on the run. Washington. Tight set for Myers, but she'll finish. Matched up against the setter, Sharpton. There wasn't much of a block.
Yeah, she gets a good opportunity. A little bit of a tight set for her, but is able to finish it.
Myers averaged almost 5 kills a set as a senior. didn't quite get it over. Watts saw the big triple block, tried to finesse the shot over and never got it to the net. So no block for K-State there. They wanted another. For 17 in the match last night in 4 sets. Good aggressive serve by Morris. All the way left for Washington. There's the roof.
Yeah, credit Warner for setting that up. And then Fernholz, again, able to close it. And then you see that press there at the end.
9 blocks last night for Fernholz, one off a career high. Morris still serving. Goes a little shallow this time. Quick set middle, flipped out.
Good idea. Good idea there to try to find that corner. The short tips weren't working.
Another timeout by the Rattlers. Well, Kansas State playing here in Bramlage in this Invitational. This will be the last year that K-State plays a tournament here, at least forced to. They'd be highly surprised if they play here in the future because they have a new home coming up next year. Morgan Family Arena being built right beyond us on the other side of Bramlage Coliseum. It'll be the new home for K-State. It is part of the overall Olympic Training Center as well. That long building, half of it is the arena, which is what you're seeing here. The other half is the Morris Family Training Center, which will feature a weight room, rehab, sports medicine, and plyometrics, and a whole workout area for all of the Olympic sports. They have their own place to call home, and this place will be one of the crown jewels of the Big 12 volleyball specific arena for Kansas State, sitting about 5,000, and have a court they can also switch and have the lower bowl pushed back to allow for a couple of courts, locker rooms, offices, all behind that video board wall and club area as well. Should be a lot of cool stuff in there and fun to see.
I'm pretty excited to see how it all turns out. It'll be very exciting for this program. You know, building this tradition, you know, K-State in the Big 12 has just grown as a team, and it's exciting. Well-deserved for this volleyball program.
It adds to what has been nearly $380 million worth of facility improvements for the Wildcats and the athletic department overall in the last 10 years. Bill Snyder Family Stadium, basketball training facility, the football indoor that's going up on the other side, Toynton Family Stadium, of course, Boozer Family Park, the baseball soccer complex. And now, of course, volleyball getting a new home. Warner, did she get that in? The touch was called near side, so she gets the point no matter what. Head coach of the Rattlers asking about that. And his own player just now. Isis Williams says, yes, I touched it.
Still fighting for his team.
Very good serve. Overpass, easy pickings for Bolding, or for Fernholz.
That's smart play by Fernholz. Nobody over there on that right side of the court.
Don't need to go up and crush it, just drop it in. Fernholz now with 3 kills. Backdoor attack. Dug out easily by K-State. They'll go left to Myers. She'll get Ruth.
Williams there with those long arms. Able to close that little bit of gap there.
Myers immediately tapped her chest, saying that was on her. Maybe went a little too low with her attack.
You see that gap in that block, and your mouth starts watering a little. You're like, all right, I'm gonna crush it. And then when that block closes that late,
part of the growth of a hitter, an outside hitter, thinking about so many things, the set, your approach, all those things, and then up in the air, recognizing the block and where you can go, changing up your shot if needed. That's what made Aaliyah Carter such an incredible player to watch as a freshman. It was her ability to process all that information and come away with the right play each time. Doing it at such an early age. High-level volleyball, and that's why she's one of the best in the conference.
Serving for K-State, number 14, Shaylin Myers.
Myers getting a lot of playing time here today. How about Fernholz, one-on-one?
Just great timing and vision. She really keys in on that attacker in their arm and makes a good read.
Another block by K-State. LeGrand jumps in the party.
Yeah, that was all LeGrand. You saw her press her hands into the court there. Good finish.
Luxuries of a tall setter, no doubt, and into the net there on the set. K-State running away with this one again in the second set. Service here. Rattlers look to run some points with Isis Williams out of Louisville, Texas. And she'll get an ace.
That serve just dropped out of the sky.
Sure did. Williams did not play in either the COVID year or in 2019. Played quite a bit last year as one of the middles, the top two middles. Unable to handle the high heat from Fernholz. K-State's going to make another bench substitution here. Brenna Schmidt is going to come in, so Boulding's day may be done as well. Some of the starters getting a day off here in this finale of the tournament. Brenna Schmidt, also out of Nebraska, 6'6". One of the tallest players in K-State history. And she'll get a big block. Right into the match.
Not easy to come in off the bench and make an impact right away, but Schmidt with the finish.
Which side of the team is for Schmidt? And the backcourt attack. Washington stepped across the 3-meter line.
That timing of that was just off a little bit. Washington wanted to go a little bit faster. She had to slow down, and that might have messed up her.
Even if she had not been called for the foul, Brenna Schmidt was waiting for it, and it was walled to the ground again. Looking for the high hands. Watts misses everything. This is what we saw from NC State a little bit yesterday. Once the block becomes so significant, you get players going for high hands, shooting it out of bounds. Wolfpack could not get the left side figured out against K-State's block. Service error by Fernholz. Seven blocks for Kansas State through 2 sets. 5 by Fernholz as she heads to the bench. Team leader in kills with 5. And the Rattlers to serve. Ramsey eaten up a bit by that float serve. And Baca, benefit, I thought at first might get a break. Just did not go over the tape.
No lucky roll there.
No. Another block by K-State, fans out. And one more bench player for K-State, Dahlia Wilson. Will make her first appearance, so Haley Warner's day probably done. In the hands of the newcomers now. They got a touch on it, but nothing else. Wilson, a product out of Turkey. We mentioned the head coach of Florida A&M, Yilmaz, is from Turkey. And a backup setter for the Rattlers from Turkey. And you have another backup middle as well from Florida A&M, also from Turkey. And an out-of-rotation call on the Rattlers. But Wilson prepped in the high school ranks over at the state side, but also played club ball in Serbia for a year.
A little out of rotation here.
Might have a player that needs to be back in. Yep. They got it worked out.
Again, just an unfortunate little hiccup mistake that's just very costly for the Rattlers.
Yeah, in a match like this one where you're completely outgunned and any mistakes are magnified because you're giving 3 points to a team that doesn't need any help. Wilson's first swing from the right side goes into the net. Wilson at 6'3" is listed as an outside or a right side hitter, and I think K-State has projected her because of her height as the somewhat heir apparent to Haley Warner on the right. Over dig, popped up and over. K-State lucky to keep that in play. LeGrand on the run, gets it up in the air. Flipped over by Myers. K-State still chasing here this rally. Myers gets a good swing and finishes.
K-State needs to try to focus with all these new players. Just keep communicating and try not to get too ahead of themselves. Fern holds back in.
Only one other player available for K-State has not played yet this year, and that's Anaya Clinton. And now, if she doesn't play today, you kind of wonder if maybe if Cats are thinking about trying to redshirt her. Myers changes her shot.
It's always interesting to see how those coaches figure all that out, like playing all the numbers and what you're going to have down the, down the road and what you need. And
yeah, a lot of that goes into recruiting. Where are your future recruits going to be as far as positions? Cats are a little thin on their roster at the moment, whether that's by design or not. In years past, they've been as flush as 20. And only 13 this year. So receive is an ace for the Rattlers. Their third of the set, fourth of the match. Sharpton, the setter, back to serve again. Good dig by Morris. And Myers. 6 kills for Myers, hitting .417.
That's a good sign there with Myers being able to attack those volleyballs out of system in transition and not making errors. Good for the freshman.
Bryant has her choice. Back to Myers. Tools the block and finds a set winner. Another dominant showing by Kansas State, this time with mostly backups. K-State rolls to a 25-13 lead. They have a 2-0 lead at intermission. We're back with stats in a moment.
Mike Tyson, king of the world.
They call me a savage, an animal.
Is that who I am? They'll love you as much as they fear you. To embrace your villainy. Don't love me no more.
I just need him to be more attentive.
It was one bad week.
How am I supposed to live with someone who can't even set a lineup?
She has me in 6 different leagues. It's a lot.
We don't argue every day, just Sundays. And then Monday nights, waiver wire Wednesdays, lineup tweak Thursdays.
It's every day.
Free agent Friday.
Just say every day.
Starts at Saturday.
Anyone who has made the choice to come to therapy, they can be helped.
I have a compulsion to kill people.
FX's The Patient. Streaming August 30th, only on Hulu.
This night is what the city's for, the serendipity of summer in New York.
Serena Williams, what a journey it's been. We're playing the Hat Shuffle. We are about to three K-State hats, and our contestant will have to...
A dominant showing so far by the Wildcats over the Rattlers. Even more dominant when you consider that K-State has done it usually using mostly their bench, as thin as it is, but the Wildcats have gone to their younger players here early, and it has led to these numbers, which has been a dominant showing to this point. Shaylee Myers has led the way. Myers 6 kills at 5:56 in the second set alone, only 1 error. Numbers tell the story, Liz, and it doesn't really matter the category. K-State's really owned this match.
Yeah, they're kind of dominating on all levels, and starts with their serve. They're just really causing some troubles for Florida A&M, and then the blocking too has really gotten in the heads of the Florida A&M hitters. They're just making more mistakes, trying to avoid the block, and it's just kind of spiraled out of control. 5 blocks already for Katie Fernholz, who also has 5 kills, hitting .833. All right, elsewhere in the Big 12 Conference, it's tournament weekend for everybody. Big scores this weekend, a couple of upsets. Texas Tech knocked off Notre Dame this weekend. Texas just shattered Ohio State the other night in straight sets. Conferences showed up well in non-conference play. Yeah, it's a good sign for the Big 12. Some big things can happen, and this is what preseason's all about, getting out there, getting some good experience, playing some tough teams.
Texas, Baylor, Kansas are ranked. Iowa State, Texas Tech, K-State are kind of the next group, and so far those 6 teams have all proven to be very tough in non-conference play. We're back with the third set in a moment.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
You really think there's life out there?
Yeah. Where do you think all that cosmic cash came from?
The Kansas lottery, babe.
That's just what they want you to think.
What's that?
With the new Cosmic Cash instant tickets from the Kansas Lottery, you could win up to $75,000 or enter in the Play On app for another chance at $75K.
Babe.
We get out, fired up, hook big ones. We get out and rip it. And we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew. Get out and do.
Whatever you do, don't drop it.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2. What's that?
we look to Liz's keys to victory at the outset of this one before we start the third set, kind of get a grade of how teams are performing. And so far, true to what has been on the scoreboard, it's been a struggle for the Rattlers to get these keys. K-State on the other side has done pretty well.
Yes, yes. Florida A&M definitely struggling. You know, they haven't really put much pressure on K-State through extending the rallies and being terminal. That first side kill, you know, but K-State again is in return making it very difficult for the Rattlers to do much.
K-State 6 aces for Susie Fritz. And despite having somewhat of a Rolodex day, right? A lot of different players checking the roster card. They have been pretty consistent despite different lineup combinations.
Yeah, we've seen that kind of go bad for some of these teams this weekend, you know,
that's right,
mixing up the lineup, but so far K-State's handling that well.
Match just before this, NC State Sam Houston, we saw all sorts of players being moved around and in different positions, and you're kind of like, what is going on? Who's what? Who's where? Haley Warner will get a start here in the third set. And gets pushed the set from LeGrand. So K-State probably still trying to get Warner on track as they look ahead towards the rest of non-conference schedule and then the Big 12. Washington, the lone bright spot for the Rattlers, although she was pretty quiet in the second set, and then a nice roll shot by Myers.
Yeah, seeing Myers mixing up her shot, making some good choices. That set was inside. She had a nice line option there and keeps it in play.
And an attack error by Sharpen. Right now, the body language of the Rattlers not great.
No, it's really difficult to claw your way back into this when you don't have the energy.
Rattlers seem to be a team ready to get on the plane and go home. Trying to get that connection to Schmidt. Didn't seem to be right in rhythm there. Myers. Pretty good swing. Down a little bit farther off the net. Well, that ended up being pretty good, all things considered. Morris. Myers, a hard shot. Good up by the Rattlers, and no chance to get over it in 3. K-State doesn't have the depth to be able to take Mackenzie Morris out. For that, they're probably grateful because she's the catalyst of some of those rallies.
Yeah, really the leader out there on the court.
Wildcats have only two defensive passers, so barring bringing Hinkle in here, Morris, one of the few starters out there still for K-State. Morris will give it a look, but run out of real estate. Here's a look at Morris out of Dallas, Texas. Two-time Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week last year. Did not earn all conference honors, but in a league that's littered with great liberos, certainly is in the conversation among the best. Warner.
Warner had to adjust mid-air, but able to make a nice play on that. Good skill. Wasn't quite where she wanted it.
These are important plays, rallies, minutes for LeGrand, you would think, as a setter, right? Just trying to get the rhythm and the consistency down.
Yeah, it's definitely different than what she's used to, tempo, pace-wise, the type of setting you want her to do. So yeah, it's valuable experience.
There are times from LeGrand when the set looks great, everything's in rhythm. There are times where it's just a tick off. And perhaps the difference between her and Hinkle at the moment and how many times that happens. It'll come. Good practice here for Myers, dealing with different types of sets. Freshman having to adjust on the fly. Numbers looking great for Myers. 10 kills now.
Double digits.
Hitting 381. And she'll get another ace. Myers has 4 aces. Myers with a pipe. Washington. Burn holes dug by Washington. And out on the attack by Jacobs. It's one of those long rallies we've mentioned for the Rattlers that were key early. If they could find a way to just keep rallies long and maybe get a win or two here and there, get some momentum, but as the time wears on, the play breaks down. Here by Myers. 7 aces, 7 errors for K-State with the serve. Myers has a couple of aces and a couple of errors.
That connection there is pretty good. LeGrand to Fernholz on the slide.
Fernholz, 6 kills, no errors, and on 8 swings. That is some efficient volleyball. She has 5 blocks as well. Into the net call on Florida A&M, and it's on Aja Jones, her 3rd blocking error. Or into the net call, I should say. And it's her hair. You can see Jones's hair, the weave that she has, is very long. And on that follow through, like a whip, it comes flying around and it catches the twine. Presswa on the right. Senior from Orlando will check out. Jada Taylor, transfer from Grambling. Taylor was the preseason SWAC Libero of the Year, but has not played the position yet for her team. It has been all Brooke Hudson, transfer from Colorado State. But Taylor led the SWAC in digs per set a year ago, so I think that's why everybody thought, well, she'd just step right in and be the top libero, but has had some struggles winning the job.
And you'll see she's in the back row, but they're hiding her on serve receive.
Behind Hudson. LeGrand will serve. Will go the opposite way. Baca blocked. Back to Baca. On the run, Sharpton puts it up. Warner. Another long rally here. Washington forced to pass over. Schmidt, big harm, and gets the kill. And that's Schmidt's first career kill as a Wildcat.
Yeah, timing on that one was a bit better than the earlier try.
Jacobs gets it inside the block of Schmidt and Warner.
Found just enough of a seam there between those hands.
Another big block for K-State on that side. Warner 6'2.5" or almost 6'3", and you got Schmidt at 6'6". A tough set by LeGrand, and Warner rewards her.
Now Warner ran all the way across the net to get into position. That's a fast turnaround, but does a nice job.
So it goes back to what we were talking about before with the freshman setter. There are times where it looks like that, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
You can really see the talent of everything there. Perfect placement, Warner in rhythm. Ace by K-State. Baca gets another one. 7 aces on the season already for Baca through 3 matches. And there. 8 aces, 8 errors for K-State today. And here's the aforementioned libero Hudson to serve in for the Rattlers. Myers gets a big swing. And we go to a timeout. Midway through this third set, K-State in command on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
We must fight for our people.
1 degrees. That the drippy faucet in your kitchen is 100% less drippy. And that your workspace is comfortably cushy. Yep, it's the get it done right the first time experts from Kate's. Right now, get a rebate of up to $600 on qualified American Standard heating and air conditioning systems with Kate's. Because who can keep your house humming like a well-oiled machine? That's right, Kate's can.
Hi, this is Coach Tang, and we're used to talking about all things basketball. But right now, I want you to hear these 4 important words about the growing crisis of drug overdose. 1 pill can kill. Kansans are dying every week from drugs laced with deadly fentanyl. Please educate your loved ones to steer clear of street drugs. Never buy pills online without a prescription, and always use a reputable pharmacy. 1 pill can kill.
Been an impressive start for Shaylee Myers of Kansas State. For more on the true freshman, let's go to Jasmine Halliburton.
So Shaylee Myers had a legendary high school career, breaking records, one of which she had over 1,000 career kills. And Coach Fritz was excited about adding her to the team because of her versatility and her being an attacking player and having so much talent, also being well-rounded and skilled. And she has experience and capacity to help the team in multiple ways. We believe she fits our team and culture as a hard-working, high-character, academically driven young woman.
Well, good quote there from Susie Fritz. Thank you, Jasmine. Seen that from Myers to this point. She's been a good addition for K-State. Got a lot of playing time today. And this second team continues to tear apart Florida A&M. And Myers putting together a memorable, really extensive first action for K-State. Dozen kills now. Washington, really her first solid swing of the day.
Yes, we were talking about this earlier, that she just hasn't quite had the rhythm to really go up there and rip it, and finally able down the line. She saw just enough air there to sneak it through.
Richards Sr. with her 6th kill and only hitting 136. Dahlia Wilson back in there for the Wildcats on the right side for Warner. So K-State put Warner in just to kind of get some rhythm. on the right side, and then they bring in Wilson. And K-State gets the benefit of that. Myers kills. The block comes over, but lands out of bounds. And it'll be Wilson to go back to serve. Wilson played when she was in the prep ranks in Turkey and then again in club. Middle, right side, and left side. So she's been all over the court. Big block by Myers.
She had to add that to her afternoon here. Get the block as well.
It's quite a match for Myers. 13 kills, hitting .440, 4 aces, a pair of digs, and a block. Out to the left. K-State nearly got that over. A couple of just one-handed stabs. Wilson comes out, Ramsey in, and Wilson gets a high five from Susie Fritz. A low five. Back to Myers, who's had the hot hand, and she'll get another. It's almost, think about it, almost kind of a mercy. K-State did not have Aaliyah Carter in there for the entirety of the match today, because it would have been, Myers has been great, take nothing away, but the All-American candidate in Carter against the Rattlers, who have been overmatched from the get-go, it would have been taking a hammer to an ant. And visually the same hammer to an ant,
yeah.
Literally. I mean, yes. It would have been, the ball would have been pummeled. Fernholz drops it in. There will be plenty of matches for Carter to light it up. And after 2 hard matches yesterday, good performances, a well-deserved day off today. She and Bolding, for the most part, given the day off today, starting MB1 and OH1 for the Cats.
Finally see that quick set out of the middle there for Florida A&M. They just haven't had many opportunities to get those middles involved.
Now serving for Florida A&M is number 1, Jada Taylor.
Baca.
Those are 2 quality sets by LeGrand to Baca. Much better location for her.
Susie Fritz trying to explain away Wilson. Got in just a little too quick ahead of the referee's whistle. Big block at the middle, but out. Work out for the Rattlers to get a point. Nearing the end of this one, K-State on their way to a 3-0 start. Next up, Central Florida for 3 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday coming up next weekend. Florida A&M will get a road trip to Florida State before they host a tournament next weekend at home against Yale, Austin Peay, and James Madison. The Florida State match, the Seminoles receiving votes in the top 25. That'll be on Wednesday night in Tallahassee for Florida A&M. So they'll be pumped up for that one. Double figures in service errors for the 2nd straight match for K-State. But 8 aces today. They've been aggressive with the serve, but they've gotten a lot in. Wilson Trying to get kill number 1 of her career. Washington creeping closer to double figures, now has 9.
Yeah, she's still battling out there, trying to spark her team.
Maybe not enough to win the war, but Myers just barely gets another kill. If there were to be a negative for K-State, it might be a little bit too serve error here down the stretch. For the weekend overall, Susie Fritz put so much focus as a staff on serve receive, serving and serve receive. Wildcats have graded out pretty well in that department. Washington, there's Baca. Tight from Myers, but off the block.
Yeah, we get a pretty good view of that set coming out here for Myers, and we've noticed with LeGrand, a few of them have floated a little bit, kind of close to the net, which is a difficult play to make. Myers does a nice job of using the block.
Match point. To end it, Myers gets another. Quite a performance by Shaylee Myers, congratulated by her teammates, and the Wildcats cruise to a straight set win over Florida A&M and the title of the K-State Invitational as they win 9 of 10 sets. 3-0 in the year for the Wildcats, and Susie Fritz, another match where they hit well over 300. The Rattlers fall to 0-3. A rivalry game at Florida State coming up. Let's go to Jasmine Halliburton, who's with the head coach of the Wildcats, and Susie Fritz.
Hi guys, I'm here with head coach Susie Fritz. And coach, what can you tell us about Shaylee Myers and her impact in this game?
Well, she's made an impact every day in practice is what I can tell you. You know, I think what you saw is what she's been doing every day. I think we're pretty excited about the outside hitting core. You know, they all give us something a little bit different, but she has earned opportunities to play, and I was thankful that we were able to get them for her because I think we're going to need her down the stretch.
Only 4 aces given up today. What did you think about the serve receive?
Well, I thought our passing was good. I think maybe more importantly, I thought our serving was outstanding. And that's always kind of where we start in volleyball. If we can get those 2 segments in place, we got a chance to win matches.
So 3-0 so far in non-conference. What are the keys to keep this momentum going forward?
You know, I think the same things we've been doing. Try to train well every day. Try to just keep getting 1% better every day. I have loved the way that they have come to work every single day. And I think, you know, what they're doing now is the consistency with what they're playing is what they're showing us every single day. They don't take days off, and I think that's going to be big for them.
Well, thank you, Coach. Congratulations. All right, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Jasmine. Appreciate that. Good stuff there from Susie Fritz. We look at the final numbers. K-State as dominant as they were on the offensive end, maybe more dominant on the defensive end. Truthfully, that's been the surprise, I think, of this team to this point, and watching over 3 days, is defensively they have just owned teams at the net.
Oh yeah, blocking has been huge, and then just their defensive effort. You've seen them flying all over the court, and that's going to be huge. Big 12 play is going to bring a lot of really good quality hitters, and they're going to need to be able to put up those sorts of numbers in the Big 12.
Especially with some players playing 6 rotations like Baca, Carter. K-State was able to get some rest for some players. We saw the emergence of Sydney Boulding this weekend. Lauren Hinkle at center looked very, very sharp. Some good things, exciting things for K-State, who's back at home at Bramlage Coliseum coming up on Wednesday, September 7th against the Missouri Tigers. We'll have it for you here on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. For Jasmine Halliburton, for Liz Wagner-Bush, the two-time All-American, I'm Brian Smolder. For our producer-director, Andy Leaps, thank you for watching. All games airing on the ESPN networks are on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.